Browne here from Walking the Spirit Tours. It is Sunday night in Paris. It's a beautiful, beautiful night in Paris, May the 1st. And I am standing outside of a jazz club called Le Pascalou. This is one of the kind of jazz clubs that only the locals know about. It's in a tiny little corner of a street, as you can see behind us here, and we are in the Ménilmontant neighborhood. That's actually Edith Piaf's neighborhood. So music, all the same. Up in the 19th, I think we're in the 19th district of Paris. So I wanted to come to you tonight, talk to you about some reasons for coming to I want to talk to you about some reasons for including jazz in your trip to Paris. So let's say that you are not a jazz fan, or you might be a huge jazz fan and it is the top of your list. First thing I'd like to mention is the vibe that you get in Paris. In Paris, the vibe and the variety. There is so much jazz in Paris. There is over 600. There are over 600 concerts a year in Paris. And all kinds of, you can have fusion jazz, you can have bebop jazz, you can have big band jazz, you can have international jazz, everything you can possibly have. So when you come in, if you say, for example, you don't know anything about jazz, this is an ideal place to start an initiation. Because when you come into a club, not only are you getting a variety of different kinds that you might like, but you also have an ambiance that's amazing. For example, you can go to a big club, like, not even a club, a concert place, like New Morning up in the 10th district. And in that's where all the big name performers go to, and the hardcore fans go to. But let's say you want something a little bit smaller, you might go to Duc de Lombard, or right next to it, the Sunside and Sunset, one on top of each other, that are right beside the Georges Pompidou Center. And let's say you want more fusion jazz, or a little more of a relaxed atmosphere, right next to that, on the same little street, is the Busy Salé. And that brings me to an idea about price. So jazz can be very inexpensive as well. Let's say you go to Busy Salé, it won't be as much as some of the other clubs. Or you go to a club like L'Improviste, which is it's on the Seine River, it's in a boat. So you get the ambiance, and you get a great, the price is really reasonable, and you get musicians who are usually here from Paris. And that's another reason to come to Jazz Club in Paris. You're going to see musicians that you're not going to meet or see anywhere else. This is a center of recording. Paris is a recording center for musicians from all over the world who might not be able to record in their country. For example, they may not have recording studios where the musicians are in a particular place in Africa or in Romania or other countries. So you're going to get those musicians here. And what happens often at the end of an evening, you get jam sessions going in some of the clubs. So you get all of that together, and that's many reasons for you to come and book jazz here in Paris. And one more thing about it, jazz has become an international language. So jazz, while it came here, it was brought here by the soldier bands with the First World War, James Reese Europe. Since then, the African Americans were the first to play jazz here. Then the French learned it, and then it became a center for jazz, of musicians learning jazz all over. And there are so many jazz festivals in Paris, but also all around France. So no excuse not to try this music that has become a universal way of bringing people together. It's a universal language. So I can hear the musicians behind me starting up. Oh, one more thing. Where can you find information about jazz, or where can you find listings? There's a place called a jazz association called Paris Jazz Club. You can find it online. They list by clubs and they list by dates. But also there's this magazine that you can pick up at the newsstand called Periscope. It's maybe €2, and it has listings of all kinds, not just music actually, of theater, of movies, and it comes out every Wednesday. So that's another place that you can find it. Also on my blog, I have a list of jazz clubs, for example, where students would like to go. Students might go to Universal down in the Latin Quarter, but you'll find that on my blog. So come along with me. I can hear the music starting, and we're going to go right into Le Pascalou, and you can see what the ambiance is like. Marta,